Hello Raiders, this is Ezron. Welcome to my Bastion. This is the second video in my series about how I'm customizing the AI of some of my champions in order to make them more effective. And in this video we're going to talk about Arbiter. Now I've gotten some feedback that my videos can be a bit long, so I'm not going to go over Arbiter. I'm going to assume that she's a well understood champion and figure that everyone mostly knows how she works. And we're going to jump right into the arena and show you the situation that I'm trying to fix. Now where this is sort of most impactful is when fighting a team like this, where there's someone who's guaranteed to have an unkillable buff, or with the proliferation of swift parry sets, anyone might have this, and the ability to remove unkillable can be very important for your arena team. I'll make sure that we understand how my team works. So of course you have to do this through the team setup UI. Essentially, Arbiter goes first, buffs and turn meter boosts, then Mashald goes, Zargala does AoE defense down, and fully closes with a nuke. And just so we're all aware of setup, I've made no customizations to the AI of any of my champs. Where this sort of hits the issue and hits the rails is that at low health, Skullcrown will put up the unkillable buff, and if she's the only champion left, Arbiter won't use the skill in order to remove the buffs, and that's the situation I'm going to try to fix. I'll also note I expect to be faster and go first and be able to do this, but my team, if it doesn't go first, it loses, so it might make, we might need a second chance at finding the right team. And here we go, starting the fight and leaving on auto. I'll talk over it to make sure that we in fact hit the situation I'm trying to fix. So here we go, getting into the arena. Everyone draws. They have shields, interesting. Arbiter goes first, as expected. Then Mashald puts up his buffs and debuffs. Steals the buff from Skullcrown, and she gets up the unkillable. Apparently she's in an avenging set. Not a big deal, but I was hoping to not have to eat that response. We have defense down up. Then Foley nukes, but doesn't take out the entire team. That's why Ursula is so good. She the ally protect means that she can keep the other team alive. We buff again. This time they go. Fear gets them several times. Shaw goes again, starts killing people, and now we're in the situation that I wanted to fix. Skullcrown is the only person alive, has the unkillable buff up, and we spend all the time beating on her with unkillable, which of course she doesn't die, and opens us to having to take the retribution or avenging procs. And this exactly is the bad behavior that Arbiter has her debuff her buff remover available, does not use it, instead uses her A1. This is awesome, and I will show everyone how we can fix that once this fight is over. So while we did win that fight, it wasn't as smooth as I expected and took a fair bit longer than it should have if we just remove the unkillable buff from Skullcrown in the first place. So going back, I will now fix the UI for my... So I had to refresh my battles list a few times in order to get another team that would exercise the situation, but I think this one will. Just based on team power, what I expect to have happen when I fight this team is I lay an AoE nuke or two. The last three champs die easily. Certainly I expect Kale and Hellgazer to. Angar might live a little bit, but he's not fully ascended, so we'll probably be fine. And Skullcrown will end up at low health with her unkillable buff up. And now we can fix, using AI modifications, what Arbiter does, where I get better results. So how I do this is I set Mentor of Heroes to be the first choice, Destiny's Call the second choice. And here's where this is not super optimal. There are some situations where using Destiny's Call isn't necessary, but if more than one enemy lives, it's helpful. And then I manually set Enforced Humility, which decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 1. And therefore, because Skullcrown's unkillable is only 1 turn, effectively removes it. Prioritizing this 3 and overriding the default AI seems to be the trick in causing Arbiter to use Enforced Humility. I will save. Select the team. It is the team. And fire this up all in auto. What I expect to happen is Arbiter goes, then Michaud goes. He will probably do the same thing, which will get Skullcrown's unkillable up, then Zargala and Fully Go kill the rest of the team, at which point we're back around to Arbiter. And I think that Arbiter should remove the unkillable and let one of the other team members end the fight. And hopefully, rather than 49 or 50 seconds, we're talking about 15 or 20 here, which is half the time and auto-friendly. So here we go, and we'll see if it does what I expect. Dropped in the arena. So their Angar's pretty beefy. Hopefully I can eat through all of his hit points and end up in the correct situation. So as expected, now Skullcrown has the unkillable up. Zargala AoE nukes. Fully AoE nukes were in the correct situation. Arbiter buffs again, but because she's fast, I expect her to get another turn before Skullcrown does. See, Enforced Humility is now done, decreases the debuff, leading for an easy win. And the team never has to eat Corrupting Touch from Skullcrown. And that's really the situation I'm trying to avoid is, a well-built Skullcrown is dangerous by herself and, will occasionally kill everyone else. So this fight was maybe a little bit longer than expected, but still about half the time as the one before Arbiter had her AI customization in place. So hopefully, if you all are having the same situation in the arena as I do with Arbiter, you can set her AI up to work that way, and it will give you reliable, fast, and auto-friendly Arbiter battles. Please let me know if this helps you with your AI customizations, and please feel free to subscribe and like, especially if you like the series. I have a couple of other champions I've got, in process of AI modifications for a few things that hopefully will make everyone's raid experience more pleasant. So this is Ezron signing off, and stay tuned for more videos in the series. Thank you for watching.